from Refugee Council. Welcome to Mr. John Connery and Mr. Herman Beck, I think, yes, the owners and the organizers of our neighbor hotels. Welcome to my colleagues who were always more than ready and happy to lend their support in making the center a success. It's not possible to mention or to take all the names, but I will just thank and welcome them to this event. I hope I'm not taking too much from your time, and now, without any further ado, I would like to call on stage the chair of Andalus, or the chairman of Andalus Community Center, to let you know more about our community, our organization, Mr. Tawfiq Marah.
Thank you. Good morning all, and thank you very much for your valuable time and coming this morning. Straightforward into the conversation, we will start just showing how the community come into place, how we start in 2009.
Sorry, just to switch the light.
That's fine. In 2009, and then from there we started with this. It started very little activities, but then we'll go through it. If that's okay with you. Thank you. So our name is Andalus Community Centre. What we say in the name of God, the most merciful prophet, peace upon him, we say the most beloved people to God are the most beneficial people to other people. And that's what we started from. We thinking the best people in this world are the best who benefit other people. So, like we say, we were planning for a long time, but the time is very short, which is 45 minutes, and now we've lost a few minutes from it. So we'll go through it quickly, and just quickly, the trustees, the idea came in 2009 when we took this building from Sheff City Council on a rented basis, and our trustees are 4 people. Gentleman Sheikh Bari is here, one of our trustees, myself, and we've got Mr. Arafat and Mr. Arafat and also Farouk. Advisory, we've got very good committee in the advisory. We've got Dr. Saeed, we've got Dr. Abdul Salam, we've got Dr. Hassan. These people are, and also Fatin, which they are very, very helpful people that helping us a long way on the advisory and on our daily basis. Our management, basically I'm the one who's running the place, and also I've got too many people involved, but just to make names, a few of them are here. Dr. Abdul Salam again, Mr. Abdullah, a few of them are not available at the moment because of the work commitment, but they are here with us all the time and helping through the advice bureau and everything else, which will come later on through. Again, just other names that are helping. Is it voluntary in basic name? We say about 20 people that they are on daily basis involved within this community centre. In terms of jobs, we've got 4 people. We've managed to get 4 people full-time jobs, some full-time and part-time jobs within this year that's just started this year. That's a big achievement to us. Mainly it's because of the advice bureau. The advice bureau that we say is what they do, legal and family, and also we do education. We do religious education, refugee seekers or asylum seekers, what we call them. That's the big portion of our work. As you know, Mr. John and Beckman, they are the owners of the next hotel, which is Holiday Inn, and the number of people that come through them hotels and use our service is just, at the moment you've got 157, if that's right. 157. Previous to that, you had about 104. So these people, like 104, they finish their few months. Once they've done the home office, then they move out and new people come. And these people, they are in a big need. I know, appreciate home office is providing the accommodation and food, but however, the other necessity and how this person can involve in the day-to-day life with the British society is the challenge. And you can call us the first step once they come. I wish Caroline was here, but Caroline's supposed to be coming here. She's the representative of Refugee Council. They come to us one day and they say, we need your support. There's many things that we probably missing and don't understand it. Especially we speak the same language as well. Most of them they speak Arabic, and some of them they speak French. We've got French interpreter, we've got Arabic interpreters as well. So yeah, so that's the first step. Then we see after what would happen to this gentleman. Some of them they come with very high qualifications, PhDs, MScs, you name it. But they don't know where to go from there. Okay, I'm staying in the hotel, eating, sleeping, what else? And I'm waiting. It's a very big challenge. And that brings the idea of making the Citizen Advice Bureau and see what the needs of these people are. Talking to a few other organizations around within Sheffield, we managed to do a lot of support to these people. And then we go through, yes, again, the refugee and family division. The family one, we've got vulnerable people, again, because of lack of language, lack of education, lack of support. These people, they come. Also, we had recently, as you know, guys, which is a Brexit come to the stage. The Brexit, it comes with its own issues, because we've got families coming, they don't have settlements, they don't know where to go first, number one. And the other issue we have too, very close advice bureaus have put shut down, which is Bentley one and Manhattan one. So them to the closest one, they've shut down. That brings us to just more client and more. So we very happy that we support, but like I say, the number of clients is just doubling up every year. Okay, and then
can I just ask?
Yes,
how
sure.
do you link into the other advice services in the Sheffield network?
Yes.
Particularly citizens advice.
Okay, so if we, for example, now we've got this advice bureau, which is Colin, is Colin Salt is the head of the advice bureau. We've got Dr. Ibtisam, and also we've got we've got Dr. Abdissalam as well. So them three and myself, we see what's the case. Can we deal with this case here? Yes, we cannot. Then we divert it or signpost it to the closest organization that can deal specifically with the issue. I would say 60–70% we will deal with it within our community center, but if it's out of our specialist, we will signpost it to the closest centers. Okay, this is just giving an idea.
Can I just add?
Yes, of course.
Because if it's related to education, so we usually signpost them or register them with SAFTI if it is conversation, English conversation, to develop their English. So the SAFTI running 2 sessions every Thursday at the Century, and from 11:30 to 12 to 2 o'clock. So some of the clients, they already studied English through the job centre from the morning. So if they've got time afternoon, or some of them they study afternoon, so they've got time in the morning. So I signpost them to SAFTI. And the other place we signpost them as well. There is one centre running by the council, one centre at Firth Park, one centre in Darnell, and one here in town. So we signpost them to those. And if there's other things related to other services where the City of Century can deal with it, so we signpost them to the City of Century. So this kind of networking with our organisation.
Thanks.
Thank you. That clarified the question better than my answer. Thank you.
Together, so brilliant.
Thank you. That's what we call teamwork, yeah. So just giving an idea about our values and where our social responsibility and the teamwork, like we just done now. I'll do for some reply.
It's a real example.
Yeah, and that's a real example, and also the development. Realistically and honestly, when we started, we will start very, very small, and we never thought that we would come into this stage. And that's when I approached, when I took this building, to be honest with you, I thought about it as a business. But later on, while negotiation with the council, what would you like to do here? As you could see, next door is Castle Market being demolished. Up to now, that's 10 years ago, up to now, there's nothing being done. So we thought, what's needed in this area? And it was the community centre. So we got planning permission, we've been granted the plan permission, then back to council, are you happy for us to use this building as this? Yes, we're okay. Then we moved from there, and then we registered as charity in 2016, and then it just going, getting bigger and bigger, and more people coming and asking for support and help. We're looking for ourselves, where do we want to go in the, this is the first year when we employ 4 people full time, and we managed to get this fund to employ these people. And that's, for us, is a big step. Again, this is starting from January 2022. We secured this for the whole year. But in the future, I could see it's just growing, and we need more support. And that's where the team comes and support. They are a very supportive team as well. Okay, just a few nice words that comes through, which is the meaning of our values, the honesty and teamwork and social responsibility. I'll go through it quickly, and I've got you the booklet as well printed, so I'm not going to read it to you, but just to see where we are and where we want to go. Our goals: providing family education, legal advice, counselling is one of the main things. Is one of the biggest things. Like I've had families that come one person. A lady come with a single mom, which Nawal, for example, and she comes with many issues. First of all, it's been referred to me by the school, by another top school, and she has issues with the language. She got 4 kids, single mom, disabled. So I said, okay, 1 minute, let me just take one by one, yeah? So the first one I have to issue it to solve is your residency in this country. That's just an example. In this country, you've got to have either pre-settlement or settlement before I can even talk about housing, school, and everything else. And as soon as I've done that, apparently she had a bad advice from somewhere else, and that you didn't need to do a settlement because you're European and you could go and wherever and do this. I said, no, let me apply for your settlement. Once you've done that, we will move on. Once you've done that within 1 week, because we had the deadline of the Brexit, we've got her settlement, then we've spoken to school, because of the language, let's sort this. School settled, there's no social service, he was going to go social service, no social service. Then we start the housing, then we start her eligibility of PIP, because she was disabled. We were fighting for that, how long? For a year?
Yeah, it's 13, 14 months.
14 months, until we got the decision. And the lady, you couldn't, believe how happy she was, because life is just.
So it's just to welcome Ustad Isa Muhammad.
Oh,
the councillor.
Who's this other end?
Welcome, Tisa. So, what I said, this lady, by doing that, having her settlement first, and then talking to the housing, and then talking to the school, and sorting her with her kids. Disabled lady, very, very poor lady, and it just changed her life. And that's what we believe on, changing people's life, by supporting. Many people, they don't know where to go. And that's our first step. And this was providing family with education, legal advice, counselling. Then preparing and qualifying immigrant asylum. What we said about these asylum seekers that's starting in the hotel. They come, they want the first or the biggest issue we have is the language. They have not. We've tried, we spoke to their college, which is Sheffield College, and we have another couple organizations that they will start helping them with ESOL. As soon as that person go into the English course and learn how to, express themselves, the doors just started open. We start moving from one place to another. And also working to spread Islamic values. That was from the first when we started, talking about what is the values. For example, in Ramadan, I think Mr. John joined us when made that big meal in Eid time, and it was very, very helpful. And we see the smile and the cheer in the on these faces, which make a lot of difference. Teaching Arabic for people who want to learn Arabic. Getting involved campaign and the benefits of our society, that's one of our goals, and to achieve the best standards in terms of development, performance and results. like I said, we'll go through it quickly. We've got a booklet there, just because of the time. Right. So this is just some numbers. When we opened, like we said earlier, it was when we took the building. Really, we didn't open at that time because you needed a lot of things to do, which you might see later on. How the building used to be it was a vacant building for almost 30 years. If you want to see how this building was, just you can, after you leave this place, the next door you could see it. It is like twin buildings. It was in a very bad state, so we tried our best at that time. But then later on, in 2016, that's a very important date for us. That's when we registered as a charity. Andalus Community Centre being registered in 2016 September. 2020 is another important stage to us, which is we recreate this place again. We had a massive issue with the roof and leak, and that's when we done the job, which was like pandemic was bad for many people. It support us in one way because most of the companies couldn't work, so we offer them a bit of money so they come and put scaffolding up and they do the work for it because there's not much job around. That's make a lot of difference if that makes sense.
So this is the bonus of the play.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I said in 2021, the fourth stage, parallel with previous work, we provide support. That's when we start properly with 2021 is the advice bureau and the benefit of the advice bureau around the area and around the community. And fifth stage is we want together, we want your support as a community. We appreciate any advice, we appreciate any support, any help from you guys, just to guide us and support us to go ahead for the future. Right, and hence starting work at Andalus Community Centre, the first stage, this is what we've just gone through. I'm not going to read it again to you. It's 2009, 2000, when we got the place again, and so on until that's exactly the same as the previous one. So what I will do now, I'll just go through a few pictures with you, how the building used to be and how is it now. I know the picture in mind, not give it the right because it's a bit dark there, but you could see there were no, just to let you know, there were no heating, the lighting very poor. We have rewired it, we have rewired the whole lot. A lot of leaks, especially from the roof. Yeah, no boiler, no heating. Yes, are you Dr. Amsterdam, want to say something?
You have 3 minutes, please, to finish.
Sorry?
3 minutes to be.
Oh, sorry, thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Keep checking on me. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is like a cherry picker going on top just to check what's the exact investigating the why this water. We had water running through the stairs all the time, and that's when we had an issue with the council saying, "Oh, is it safe? Is it not safe?" We said, "Okay, what can you support with if it's safe or not safe?" I know Sam been with us for the previous meeting and we've gone through this all these issues and the difficulties that we had with the council. But like I said, pandemic was good for us that we managed to raise the scaffolding and solve this issue. This is like before and after. So that's the wall that we walked. This is a stair wall, the first one on the left. That's how it is now, before and after. And the next one, the outside, trees were growing on the wall because of the leak and because of the water leak. And that's been sorted. These as well, I'm not sure if you can see this, but that's behind. There were a damaged wall. The trees, when they grow, they separated two walls, and that causes a lot of issues, a hazard, and so we had to demolish it and rebuild it again. Again, the back of the building, same situation. That's when we raised the scaffoldings, and I will leave it there. I think have I run out of the time?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much to Mr. Tawfiq Marah, the chairman of the Andalus Community Centre, for this introduction and this knowledge about the community. I myself maybe recognize some things that I don't know before. As we have a advice bureau, as Mr. Tawfiq mentioned, I will let Mr. Colin Salt to speak in 2-3 minutes regarding our work and his experience in this place. So please.
Hello. We provide a holistic service because we're not like any other advice service, because what we do is we have translators on the spot. I've been providing advice for over 20 years in these areas, and we have a very small professional team. This is very rare, is not a situation or problem we cannot solve. And because we are so flexible, and you're talking to us face to face, it's so personal, people really begin to trust us. We target anybody, but especially the most vulnerable people in our community, and there is a lot. People who don't know where to turn, and we've forged strong relationships with the local communities, and people really do trust us, and we are starting to see the benefit of our hard work in our feedback, in our gains for people, for example, increasing the income, because we're trying to eradicate poverty, and the best way of doing that is first of all to increase one's income, and secondly to help them manage it. So we're here to help them through every step of the way. We are going to be training up a bank of volunteers, local volunteers, and we will teach them how they can help us, and also we will take them through advice courses and also qualifications. Plus, with volunteering with us, what will help them is it goes on their CV, add decent reference, a very good gateway into work and employment. And all people want in life is a chance, and we're here to give that chance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Colin. So, Ms. Tisam Muhammad has a very good relation, we can describe it, with the Andalus Community Centre, and she well known about our work. I would like to give you this chance, and will give us the chance to listen to you in 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so I've known Tawfiq for a number of years, a good friend of mine, and I know of the hard work that he does in the community. He invited me to come to the centre about a year ago, and he showed me the good work that happens. I was really impressed with the level of advice work that happens, and the work that is done with refugee and asylum seekers. And we know that there's quite a lot that were housed in a hotel very nearby. And there was a lot of individuals that you spoke about where you were actually talking about doing food, clothes donations. There was a sort of a number of individuals and families where you spoke of that had nothing at all, and you really supported them. So I think I was really impressed with the level of work that happens with individuals when they're actually really struggling and really don't know where to turn. The good thing with the work as well is that it's culturally appropriate, so there's a lot of work with volunteers who speak the language of individuals, so that was impressive as well, so it stopped the additional barriers for individuals. And I think, you know, the advice that I gave you before was you've got so much more to give because you've got such a huge building. There are a lot more services that you can deliver in the future. And I've offered my support to you in the past, and I'll continue to offer that support.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Tisam. Caroline, she did tell in our neighbor hotels, owners and organizers, and our guests today as well, Mr. John and Mr. Herman. Either one of you or both, you can give us this chance to listen to you about the work we have done with you and what do you think about that. So welcome.
Well, I mean, we have a very good association now, which is through yourself. One of our service users, Dr. Hassan, was probably very instrumental in the early days when the group came in to really helping us understand. We had, I think, the right philosophy at the beginning that we wanted to help, and we wanted to make sure that that the experience was as good and as favourable as it possibly could be. But naturally, we didn't have all of the answers, and it was a case of, in early days, sitting down, listening, talking, finding out, having focus groups meetings, trying to, in early days, identify some of the leaders within their group, and to talk to them and see, well, what can we do to make it better? What can we do to enrich people's lives? And I think over the first few months, we radically changed our offering in terms of, we had some of the team coming up and working with our chefs. We looked at some of the dietary requirements and how we could actually improve in terms of that. And then we looked at things like, how do we best utilise time? Because if you're not able to go out and work, then you must have opportunities there. So we worked with a number of local organisations and helped and brought people in. We brought in table tennis, table fights, things like that. And it certainly, besides the fact that they kept beating me in table tennis, other than that, it was a very, very favourable experience. But I mean, just to echo some comments, a lot of the people who come, there's a very broad range of experience, and leveraging some of the expertise of the people who are actually there in terms of languages, in terms of skill sets, has been fantastic for us, because we've seen different courses and different things that have been run and have run really, really well. And I know that they've linked in and got aids from yourself in terms of that, which has been very, very important. So I mean, I think the experience has been excellent. Ramadan itself was a really a game changer for us, because it gave us a real opportunity of working, and so much food and support came in from outside, things like dates and different things, but we worked incredibly hard to do it. I've actually done one Ramadan in my life, so I know how difficult it is to go through. When I was working in Gibraltar, I did that, and so we worked hard. And I mean, our chefs worked really well, our teams worked really, really well, and I think, to be honest, we've made some enormous friendships. I think one of the things, and just to pick up one of the early points, education is really, really key for a number of people. There are people there who are coming in who are similar ages to my sons, 22, 23, 24. They were studying, and they want to continue to study, and they want to, get books and to leverage that sort of thing. And it's fascinating when I'm down there and chatting to some of them about some of the books and what you think on this theory or whatever, and we explore. But I think that is a real opportunity to increase sort of the level of sort of access to books and the access to education, because some people are obviously coming in and they're wanting to learn at the base level the language, and that's very important for them. There's others there who have got fantastic languages and they really want to move forward and to further their studies. Some studying law, something. So when you start getting to know individuals on an individual basis, you realise there's such a multiplicity of demands and supports needed. So anything like your organisation that can help facilitate that, then obviously enriches their lives and makes the relationship for us so much better.
Thank you very much, Mr. John. Mr. Herman, please let us know what you think.
I just wanted to add, I mean, one has to recognise the last 2 years have been quite challenging. When you are a refugee, or asylum seeker, and you are locked up in a room or in a building, for a prolonged period of time, in order to keep a good climate and a good support system going is twice as important. And one has to recognise that you can't really keep the chest to educate, because all you see is discontent. The importance of the people when they come into the country and the way they are treated in the first few months, I think, will shape the future and whether they are integrating or not integrating. So a good support service and a good approach and understanding and willingness to help is fundamental and important.
Thank you very much, Mr. Herman. Before we move to our main guest, Mr. Paul Blomfield, we would like to listen in 1 or 2 minutes for our trustees, Sheikh Abdul Bari.
Thank you very much. It's a kind of a vote of thanks for you accepted our invitations and raised occasions today. And actually, although in 2009 we set the objectives and visions to this centre, it's actually carried out from 2016 since we got our registration, charity registration done. So from that onwards, I'm really thankful for my brother Tawfiq, who is really willing. I saw him full willingness there to cooperate with the people, to express whatever we can do for the people, for humanity. So this is something very important. Anything which revolves around humanity, we have to take part in it. This has to be widespread. I always have conversation with Mr. Colin. He is also emphasizing this matter too. So thank you very much. This is
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Abdul Bari. Mr. Paul Blomfield, we are really once again to have you today in our center, in our community. I think we all agree that in this community, in this country, everyone needs everyone, and this is we are working towards. Now it's time to listen to you, to hear from you. What do you think, and what do you suggest, and any recommendation to us? Welcome.
Well, let me just say thank you for inviting me today. We talked briefly when we met at Israel.
Yeah.
And obviously the pandemic has prevented the opportunities to have these sort of meetings and to find out about your work in a critical year of 2020. But I'm glad you've been working in Aptisam, whose huge commitment and energy